Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. To start off this video, this is the show where I explain my controversial views and opinions to open discussion in the comments down below. Whether you agree or you disagree, I love discussions, I love debates, and I also want to know if there's any YouTubers that you like and would like me to do shows with, going forward. Like, I've saw people recommend Expressions. It's difficult with Expressions just because he's got so many booming shows with, like, Robbie and his brother rants, that if he saturates himself too much, then he's doing a bit too much content. So, if you recommend other people, then that'd be great. And hopefully one day we can get doing a show with Expressions again. But right now, let's just all applaud the absolute successes that he's created in the shows that he's doing. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be talking about a specific player that we've been linked with. But first of all, I just want to tell you all something. This is from me to you because I love every single one of yous. I want a six-pack, but I love Domino's. And because my love for Domino's outweighs the want for a six-pack, it actually means that I don't really want a six-pack. So even though I want one, I'm not willing to go out the way to actually get one. The exact same way that FSG want Jude Bellingham, but they don't actually want Jude Bellingham. Let's be so real. And there's countless case studies of when FSG have gone in for a big player, not decided to pursue everything because there was other suits and there was other clubs who was actually happy to go ahead and pay the extra wages, pay the extra transfer value. And of course, we can only compete to a certain extent financially. We can't just be blinded as football fans and think, well, if they've got loads of money, then that means we have loads of money. Football does not work that way. But you cannot tell me FSG, the way they've recruited funds over the past couple of months. So when you involve the Champions League finals that we've got to, the countless seasons where we finished second in the Premier League, which for those who don't know, the higher you finish in the Premier League, the more money that you get. So we still would have got a lot of money from Champions League revenue, player sales. We sold Solanke, Bruce there for 20 million, Solanke for 30 million. Loads of big assets who have left the club. Even Mane, like, we never got as much as we probably should have. We spent 40 million there, and that's why it just confuses me to think, how come we miss out on the Tchouaménis, the Kylian Mbappés, who out of his own mouth suggested, I wouldn't have mind joining Liverpool. Like, it was something that I was open to. They were one of the three clubs who were looking at my signature, and obviously we know why that we couldn't fulfil what PSG fulfilled for him. But then you look at Tchouaméni, countless other examples. It makes me believe that we're going to miss out on Jude Bellingham. Now, with the sources that have came out recently, I don't know how reliable they are. I don't know what's more reliable out of their sources and barbecue sauce, but what I will say is that based on case studies and track records, it would not be so delusional to think that FSG just aren't going to go in for Jude Bellingham. And how long does the cycle continue to where we're linked with these big players, but then we have to get someone else because we have to accommodate for the fact that we never got them? Because all that's doing is falsifying the objections that they're setting. So they talk about how they want to be one of the best clubs, if not the best club in the country. And even though that hasn't came out their mouth, when you're linked with Kylian Mbappe's, Jude Bellingham's, that is with the intent to be like, right, we want to take it seriously. We want to compete for league titles. We want to bring Liverpool to be the best that they could be. Because they know if they came out and said anything otherwise, then we'd be on their arse. Because the only thing us as Liverpool fans want is to be competing for all trophies and to actually get it over the line. So it's all good to be like, we want to spend big next summer. We want to bring in a big asset. We want to bring in Jude Bellingham, and then you don't fulfill that stuff, and then we've got to readjust expectations because you falsified the expectations that you've wanted to set. So this isn't like an FSG out video, even though my stance is quite clear. I think I've made it clear in the past that I just don't think they align with the football club's culture. Forget the money side of things. That isn't actually the main issue. Based on what they've done on the pitch, they've made us more competitive, they've helped us achieve quite a bit in the game, but the one thing they haven't done is aligned with the culture. Ticket prices prove that, the Super League proves that, loads of things that they've tried to implement just does not suit the culture. Therefore, I'm not a big fan of FSG. However, one thing they're doing wrong on a football and pitch point of view is not getting the players that's absolutely necessary to compete. Therefore, if the transparency is, listen, we're just trying to compete, we're trying to get Champions League, and we'll win the odd trophy here and there, okay, fine. I suppose that's something that we're just going to have to accept, and whether you like it or you don't, it's still a much better position than 95 to 98% other football clubs in England. But the strategy of the transfers is we are banking on Real Madrid, who are very likely to go ahead for Jude Bellingham with all the man of the match performances he's been putting in the Champions League. Like, the kid captain Dortmund the other day. I don't understand why you do not look at that as a generational talent and someone who can not only be suitable to your team now, but suitable to your team for the next 5 or 10 years. However much, even if it's 200 million, like, listen, I'm not saying we have 200 million to spend, but if you had to go down the sides of the couches, I'm sure somewhere, like, again, this could be very uneducated, I just think we could possibly cough that up. And if that's what we needed to pay, which, by the way, I don't think that's going to be the fee. I think it's going to be about 150 million. If we're not willing to pay that and we use our transfer strategy on just banking on Real Madrid's and Man United's and Man City's to not go out and spend that extra money, then we will be where we've constantly been. But and then we have to hope on Jurgen Klopp overachieving, like the way he's overachieved for seasons by winning us the trophies that he's had. And that was a great achievement in itself, in my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, chat. Am I just missing something here? Have I read the wrong article? Do I think that this is definitely going to... I'm not saying we're out the race for Jude Bellingham, but the title of this video was that I think we're no longer going to be competing for his signature when it gets to a certain point in the value. And that, to me, shows a poor transfer strategy because we're relying on other clubs not to want a player so we can get them. And on top of that, a lack of ambition in comparison to the ambitions that you so proclaim you have, so winning silverware and stuff like that. And how long can you overachieve for? Jurgen Klopp has overachieved. I'm sure something that I would agree with, neutrals would agree with, because all the trophies we won, no one really expected us to win. Let's be honest, if anything, the one time we were touted to win the league was the COVID season when we never even won it. The full COVID season. So the one time that we've been touted to win the league, we failed. All the other times, we shouldn't have won those trophies. So it goes to show that, in my opinion, this lack of sustainability and education when it comes to the transfer strategy is only going to keep selling us as the fan short in the future, and probably going to stop FSG from making Liverpool the best club in the country because it's not the most suitable for them financially. I don't know though, like I said, I'm always open to discussions, and if you know anyone who'd like to come on the channel and debate this with me, because I don't like just debating myself, I want people to question me with proper points, evidence, facts, so we can discuss and find some sort of compromise. It's going to be an interesting one. Anyway, people, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy, then what have you got to do? Just get 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you're damn right. Smash a like if you so wish. Only if you enjoyed the video, because if you didn't enjoy the video, then I don't really see a point in liking it. But also, if you just like it, it helps me. And that's nice, isn't it? On top of that, you can subscribe as well. We're getting higher and higher and higher every day. Just dropped my phone. This is the end of James Redmond TV. That outro was the worst outro that could have ever possibly been. But we're here for it, baby. Love every single one of yous. I'll see you in a bit.
You left off, Rob, to put Varane in.
I left Romero off, right?
Of course you did. I can see what's happening.
It's not a bias.
It makes sense now, doesn't it?
It's always the most biased.
It's not a bias. I think Romero is good. Right, I think he is good, but I just look at how could I? It was, for me, it was between him and Varane.
Do you know what I think we're going to have to do, Rob? If you two agree with me, I think if you want Varane on the list, I'm prepared to go with it. But Romero has to be on, which means the only way you can get Varane on the list is if you sub Saliba off it.
You must be joking, mate.
I had a feeling it'd go that way.
Feeling.
How quick was that? All right, listen.
He's like, I don't really want him.
See you later, Varane. On goes.
So Romero's on.